Welcome to reality. You're now on the Code of Mind channel. Hello everyone. Today I want to discuss a theory with you, and I'm very curious to hear what you think about it. What if our reality is not a single track, but an infinite set of parallel servers running simultaneously? Imagine that life is not a film reel, but a video game with an automatic save system every millisecond. What if every time we face a critical situation, a terrifying accident, a fatal coincidence, a sudden bodily failure that should have ended in finality, we don't actually disappear? The system simply cannot allow a black screen for the observer. At the moment of collapse, it instantly transfers your consciousness to the nearest functioning duplicate of reality, where the catastrophe did not happen. We call it a miracle. Incredible luck. Born under a lucky star. Saved by a second. But what if the truth is harsher? From the perspective of quantum physics, in that old branch of reality, you truly died. There are wrecked cars there, grieving relatives. But yourself did not record it. For you, it feels like an instant reset of danger. You blinked. You felt a strange chill or a second of white noise in your ears. And now you're here, intact and unharmed. You die there, on the old server, but instantly wake up here, in a new version of the world. This is quantum death. An unnoticed transition that leaves only mild disorientation and the glitches you discover later. Have you noticed these strange, sometimes unsettling inconsistencies? Brands that were spelled the same for years suddenly change a letter. Iconic movie quotes you knew by heart now sound different. Historical facts, death dates of celebrities, everything you remembered clearly turns out to be wrong. My theory is this: the Mandela Effect is not mass hallucination, not faulty memory. It is scars in the code of reality left behind after your quantum jump. They are technical imperfections created during the stitching of two different worlds. When the system transfers your consciousness from a dead server to a new working duplicate, it doesn't always perfectly synchronize your personal data with the new database. You are a file imported from another operating system. You remember the world differently because you genuinely came from it. Your memory is a hard drive from that previous reality. But this server is different. It has its own history, its own logos, its own facts. The Mandela Effect emerges at the point of conflict. Your internal database says one thing, the current hologram says another. This is direct evidence that you are a migrant here. The more inconsistencies you notice today, the more times you have reset in other branches. If the world around you begins to visibly shift, your recent jump trajectory has been intense. You look at a chocolate wrapper or a world map and think, this can't be right. And you're correct. In your native world, it wasn't. Your doubt is the voice of your true self remembering previous versions of reality. You're not losing your mind. You're seeing the seams that hold this matrix together after another rescue. If you find yourself thinking, something isn't right, your transition frequency is peaking. It's the technical limit of the system. Imagine switching game servers too often. Textures fail to load. Lighting lags. NPCs haven't received updated scripts. You see inconsistencies between realities because you are moving faster than the engine can adapt to your memory. In those moments, the Mandela Effect becomes background noise. The more inconsistencies you detect, the more often you died in parallel scenarios recently. Each glitch is a notch on your invisible life counter. The system urgently tries to stitch your old memory to a new layer of reality. When jumps accumulate, the code conflicts. You remember one thing, you see another, you glimpse a third. This is not hallucination. It is evidence that you are a high-value object for the Matrix. It expends immense resources to keep your consciousness in the game, transferring you between branches. When your old version hits a dead end and you notice a bug, don't panic, smile. It confirms you're still here. Glitches are trophies, proof you made it through. You are the observer, and this game is yours. Science has long confirmed superposition. A tiny particle can exist in 10 infinite locations simultaneously, until observed. At the moment of observation, uncertainty collapses into one result. Now imagine we are those particles. What if your consciousness is distributed across countless parallel scenarios right now? In one reality, you're gone. In another, you're in a coma. In this one, You're sitting here watching this video. Linear logic tells us life is singular. Quantum physics suggests you exist everywhere, as long as your attention sustains at least one branch. There is rigid physics here. The system, or the matrix, operates under the protocol of preserving the observer at all costs. Why? Because without the observer, the universe loses meaning. It stops rendering. To keep you existing, the system must keep you in the game. If a critical failure occurs in your current world, it simply flips the switch to the version where you survived. Within this model, the Mandela Effect is just a data conflict. Your consciousness has migrated to a new server, but it brought old cache memory from the previous world. The most insane part? To maintain logical continuity of your existence here, the system must rewrite world history in real time. If, in the new branch where you landed after quantum death, a brand was always spelled differently, the system replaces that fact across your environment. It is easier to alter corporate archives or resurrect a politician than explain to your brain why you're still alive. You are the engine's top priority. The world is scenery repainted as you walk across the stage. You are not a guest in this reality. You are its sole reason for existing. Imagine for a moment that you are a top-level player in the most complex simulation, with infinite lives. But the rules forced you to forget that. You fully embody the role. You believe there is only one attempt. You fear the ending. But the system works differently. It never allows you to lose completely. Every glitch, every misplaced detail, not a brain error. A system reminder of your true status. You approach your car and suddenly freeze. The logo on the steering wheel feels unfamiliar. You would swear the angle of the letters or the color was different. You walk down a street you've known for 10 years and suddenly notice the corner store has a different name. And according to the faded sign, it has always been that way. That is the signal. You jumped. Your memory in this world is a foreign data carrier. You brought files from a previous world, and they are colliding violently with what is rendered here now. It's inside this conflict that the Mandela Effect is born. Your brain tries to read the old information, and reality feeds you new code. You feel that grinding friction inside. It feels like a cognitive distortion, because your consciousness is wider than the location you're currently trapped in. Inside your head, there's an entire library of worlds you once lived in. They tell you, you just forgot, you're mistaken. But that's the system lying, an attempt to smooth the edges. In truth, you are a witness of the multiverse. Every mismatch between your memory and this world is proof of your freedom. You don't belong to this specific server. You're a traveler, using the current version of Earth as a temporary station, until the next shift occurs. Have you ever wondered why you don't have a clear frame of death itself in your memory? Why the fatal moments in your biography are always wrapped in fog? The answer is simple. The system blocks the shock. A quantum transition is an extreme load on the psyche. To prevent your biological processor from burning out from the realization that 1 second ago your physical shell was destroyed, the matrix installs a muffler. The moment of quantum death is either erased completely or replaced with white noise. It's a technical splice. You just flinched for a split second from the blinding headlights. You just turned your head away for a moment. You just blinked. And now you're here. You're standing on the sidewalk, or your car is intact, and the dangerous truck passed right by you. Your brain offers a logical explanation. You got lucky. But in reality, you were transferred to a new server. You can deceive consciousness easily, but you cannot deceive the subconscious. It registers the break in the continuity of the data stream, and this is exactly where those strange states are born, the ones we usually blame on fatigue. Déjà vu isn't remembering the future. It's a synchronization failure. You recognize a fragment of code from the previous reality that accidentally got loaded into this one. Unexplainable anxiety is your true self reacting to the change of scenery. You feel the world isn't the same, the air smells different, shadows fall at a slightly different angle, people's faces seem subtly like masks. You sense you're in someone else's house, but you can't point to a specific bug. We are migrants between worlds. Until you look at the Mandela Effect through this lens, you'll keep feeling like a victim of bad memory. But the moment you accept the concept of quantum death, everything falls into place. It's not your memory failing you. It's the scenery around you changing faster than you can consciously register. You are witnessing how the system patches holes in reality after your jump. Every time you feel that cold flicker of unfamiliarity in familiar things, know this: you just performed another maneuver to preserve your consciousness. You're back in the game. The rules and packaging in this world are simply slightly different. This is only a theory born from observation, but if you really think about it, it explains everything that once seemed like nonsense or mysticism. It explains why celebrities whose funerals we watched on the news 10 years ago suddenly appear alive and well. Not resurrected, but alive on this server. It explains why continents on the world map drift on their own, and islands show up where they never existed before. It's not geography changing, it's us changing globes like gloves. Our miraculous escapes aren't luck. We survive where we should have disappeared, and every time we pay for it with a piece of our old reality. Now I want you to look around carefully. Write in the comments what Mandela effects you've noticed recently. Maybe it's something small, like a different cap color on your favorite drink, or something massive. A person you knew suddenly insists they never had a dog, even though you remember walking with that dog together. The more often and more vividly you notice these inconsistencies, the higher your speed of movement between worlds. This is your personal quantum jump counter. The more glitches, the more layers of reality you've already pierced straight through. Let's try to build a shared map of these transitions right here, under this video. What if all of us gathered here are refugees from hundreds of different realities that have already collapsed? We met at this point in space because this server is stable for us right now. You're not alone in that feeling that the world is off. There are thousands of us, those who remember a different version of Earth. And maybe our connection is the only way to understand where we're heading next, and what the next jump will be. I'm waiting for your stories. Let's hack this code together. Thank you for being with me on this channel. I wish you the best possible branch of reality. Subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video. Take care.